1127 William Roman 9, the troubadour, Frankish nobleman, Duke of Aquitaine, Gascony, Count of Poitou. 1086-1127, crusader and poet, dies at 55. In 1134 Robert Curthose, Duke of Normandy, 1087-1106, dies at about 83, birth date uncertain. In 1163 Baldwin Roman III, King of Jerusalem, 1143-63, son of Princess Melisende and Folko of Anjou, husband of Theodora, dies of consumption at about 33, birthday uncertain. In 1240 Tushige, 87th Emperor of Japan, 1232-42, first son of Emperor Go-Horikawa, dies at 10 from an accident. In 1275 Arnold Fitz-Stedmer, English chronicler of the mayors and sheriffs of London, in 1188-1274, reported to have died at 73, probably died 1274. In 1280 Margaret Roman II, Flamanden noble, Countess of Flanders, 1244-78, and Countess of Hainault, 1244-54, 1257-80, dies at 77. Second Emperor of the Yuan dynasty, 1294-1307, grandson and successor to Kublai Khan, dies at 41. In 1482 Luca della Robbia, Italian sculptor, Majolica reliefs, dies at 81. In 1543 Johann Eck, German scholastic theologian and early counter-reformer against Lutheran challenges, dies at 56. In 1567 Lord Darnley Stewart, husband of English Queen Mary, murdered. In 1576 Wilhelm Zeilander, German classical scholar and humanist, dies at 43. In 1588 Justus Brunswick, Amsterdam merchant and regent, dies at about 82. In 1657 Sebastian Stoskopf, German still life painter, dies at 59. In 1678 Philip Vingboons, Amsterdam master builder, buried. In 1686 William Dugdale, English antiquarian and Garter King of Arms, 1677-86, dies at 80. Welsh pirate known as Black Bart, who raided over 470 prize ships off the Americas and West Africa between 1719-22, killed by grape shot in the Battle of Cape Lopez at 39. In 1755 Montesquieu, French philosopher and writer, letters Persames, dies at 66. In 1758 Thomas Ripley, English architect, Custom House, Old Admiralty, dies at about 75. In 1772 Joseph Wenzel I, Prince of Liechtenstein and General, dies at 75. In 1774 Florian Leopold Gassmann, Bohemian composer, dies at 44. In 1782 Friedrich Christoph Oettinger, German Lutheran theologian, dies at 79. In 1783 James Nares, British organist, harpsichord player and sacred music composer, dies at 67. In 1816 Jean-Paul Guide Martini Johann Paul Egidius Martin, French composer, plaisir d'amour, dies at 74. In 1822 Albert Casimir, Duke of Teschen and Governor of the Austrian Netherlands, dies at 83. In 1825 Paulus van Hemert, Dutch theologian, philosopher, and promoter of Immanuel Kant's Ideas magazine for critical philosophy and its history, dies at 68. In 1829 Leo Roman XII Annibale Sermate dell'Urgenga, Italian prelate, Catholic Pope, 1823-29, dies at 68. In 1832 Antonio Benedetto Maria Puccini, Italian composer, dies at 84. In 1836 Marie-Anne Pauls Lavoisier, French chemist, worked with husband Antoine Lavoisier, dies at 78. In 1837 Alexander Pushkin, Russian poet and writer Eugene Onegin, killed in a duel at 37. In 1852 Samuel Prout, British watercolour painter, dies at 68. English-Canadian explorer Columbia River, mapped more Canadian territory than anyone else, dies at 86. In 1861 Francis Danby, Irish painter, dies at 67. In 1865, Heinrich Lenz, Baltic German physicist known for Lenz's law in electrodynamics, dies at 60. In 1868, David Brewster, Scottish physicist and inventor kaleidoscope, dies at 86. In 1876, August S. Derman, Swedish composer, dies at 43. In 1876, Reverdy Johnson, American politician and jury's Dred Scott v. Sandford, dies at 79. In 1878, Claude Bernard, French physiologist involved in the founding of modern physiology blind experiments, dies at 64. In 1887, Ellen Wood, English author Pomeroy Abbey, dies at 73. In 1887, Pieter Jan Baptist Cale Robert van der Aa, Dutch Indologist and geographer, dies at 54. In 1891, Sofia Kovalskaya, Russian mathematician b. 1850. In 1902, Johann Nepomuk Krieger, German selenographer linear maps, dies at 37. In 1904, John A. Roch, Mayor of Chicago b. 1844. In 1905, Ignacy Kazianowski, Polish composer, dies at 78. In 1906, Ezra Butler Eddy, Canadian businessman E.B. Eddy Company and politician, dies at 78. In 1907, William Howard Russell, Irish war pioneering correspondent, dies at 87. In 1908, Mustafa Kemal Pasha, Egyptian lawyer, journalist, nationalist and a founder of Egyptian National Party, dies at 33. In 1913, Konstantinos Tsikatiras, Greek athlete, Olympic gold standing long jump, bronze high jump 1912, 2x silver 1908, dies from meningitis at 24. In 1915, Albert J.B. Jaethges, Belgian colonial pioneer Congo, dies at 65. 1917, Mile Pessard, French pianist, concert and comic opera composer, and teacher Maurice Ravel, Jack Ibot, dies at 73. In 1917, John William Waterhouse, British painter, dies of cancer at 67. In 1918, Abdul Hamid Roman II, 34th Sultan of the Ottoman Empire 1876-1909, dies at 75. Italian journalist, soldier and pacifist, Nobel Peace Prize 1907, dies at 84. In 1927, Lorenetto N. Epistolkers, Finnish Swedish pianist, composer, concert organizer, and humanitarian, dies at 87. English novelist, journalist, playwright, and screenwriter The Terror, the four just men who co-created King Kong, dies of diabetes at 56. Italian 259th Pope 1922-39, dies at 81. In 1944, Eugene Mitchell Antoniadi, Greek astronomer, a crater on Mars, and the Antoniadi crater on the Moon were named in his honor b. 1870. In 1945, Anacleto Dyers, Filipino jurist b. 1878. In 1948, Urta Still, England cricket all-rounder 9 tests, Leicestershire, dies at 59. In 1949, Abe Aisu, Japanese Christian socialist, politician, and father of Japanese baseball, dies at 84. In 1950, Armen Tigranian, Armenian music composer and conductor, dies at 70. In 1950, Marcel Mauss, French sociologist and anthropologist, known for his work on gift exchange in different cultures, The Gift, dies at 77. In 1951, Joseph Bovet, Swiss composer and conductor, Freiburg folk music, dies at 71.